Hello, everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your hostess for this evening, where I am so glad that you decided to hop on because we're going to talk about grants and how, yes, you can still get grants as a Black-owned business or nonprofit. So as you come in, say hello to me. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host. So let me know where you're coming in from. Give that city and that state a shout out. I am in the land not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. So give that city and that state a shout out. Let me know where you are coming in from. And then we are going to give it another couple of minutes. And then we are going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you. All right, so don't be shy. Don't be shy. I see you coming in. Let me know, excuse me, where you're coming in from, city and state. Let me know. Let me know. Hello. Is it Tamara or Tamara from Charlotte? Charlotte is up in the house. Charlotte, North Carolina. Just call you Tam. All right, Tam. Tam is coming in from Charlotte. Who else is here with us? Hello. The Big D Dallas. Iris is coming in from Dallas. And is it Jemima? I'm glad you were able to hop on, Jemima, from Miami. And Obina, is that right? Obina from Orange, California. Ah, and we got a Tamara coming in from Ohio, representing the state. All right, Ohio. And Angela from, Mustang, Oklahoma. How far are you from Oklahoma City? I don't think I've heard of Mustang. And it is on my bucket list to visit all 50 states. I've gotten to 40. I have like 10 more left. And I don't think I know where Mustang, Oklahoma is. Let's see. Mitzi from Mesa. I've been to beautiful Arizona and Florida and California and Texas and North Carolina. Hello, Adrian, coming in from Warner Robins, Georgia, and Dana from Tallahassee, Florida. Ooh, you're not too far. Oh, you're by Yukon, Oklahoma. So you're not too far at all from Oklahoma City. All right, let me know where you're coming in from, everybody. I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. As we welcome Tavita. Tavita from Marshall. Ooh, look at Texas showing up pretty strong. All right, and Monique is coming in from Chi-Town. She's from Chi-Town, but she's now in Tucker, Georgia. Georgia's coming in strong. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you that is very important. And as we move through, you'll probably hear some information that maybe nobody else is telling you, but it's going to be important for you being able to win grants for your Black organization. All right. All right. Hello, Mitchell from Pennsylvania. Where in Pennsylvania? I used to live in Pennsylvania, Mitchell. Where are you coming in from? Ah, I was right at Easton. I know exactly where Easton, Pennsylvania is. Oh my gosh. Oh, isn't that university? University was it St. David's or David's University in Easton? I know exactly where you are because I used to live not too far from Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. So I know where Easton is. All right. I'm going to share my screen so that we can get started. Lafayette College. Lafayette, St. David, same thing, right? I was like way off. All right. All right. Let me share my screen and get started Let's see. All right. All right. There we go. All right. You should all be able to see the screen now. All right. So this is grant writing for Black-owned businesses and Black-led nonprofits. Again, I'm so glad you hopped on. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host for this evening. We're going to get started because, again, I have a lot of information to share with you. We were on live at noon, by the way, and we had such great questions at noon. Really great question. Everybody was so engaged. And I know we're going to have a good time tonight. All right. Now, my background, yes, they call me the grants queen because I have secured it's over $18 million now in grants and funding. And this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPav Consulting. Every one of those years, I have been a professional grant writer. My undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips. And I provide grant writing workshops. Now, I teach grant writing for many organizations, some of your small private companies and nonprofits, but also I teach grant writing for many of the major organizations from the Urban League to Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. Now, I own my business, but I used to lead a nonprofit, so I've been on both sides of the coin. So let me know, what is your entity? Are you a for-profit, meaning you are a small business? So maybe you could be an LLC or a partner or a sole proprietor, or are you a nonprofit? Or maybe you have both, right? Because a lot of for-profits are starting nonprofit arms, right? So maybe you have both. Let me know in the chat. Small business, nonprofit. Oh, you have an LLC. Yes, you're a small business. You run a nonprofit and an LLC. Obina, excellent. Small business, small business. So let me just make it crystal clear to everybody right now. And this is the good news for you. There are grants for both. There are grants for small businesses, yes, and there are grants for nonprofits. So you are in the right place because we're going to talk about grants for both of those entities. Now, first, how did I get in this space? Because I used to be a publishing executive living in Pennsylvania, not too far from the gentleman from Easton. I was in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. I was there for over 10 years. Traveled the world, great job. And then the bottom fell out. I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland to be seen by the Cleveland Clinic because just nobody could help me in Pennsylvania. Went through all the doctors there, literally came home in a wheelchair. And when I came home, went from traveling the world to putting everything I owned in a storage unit in Cleveland, Ohio. And it took me 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job. When I was able to work, I couldn't find a job because my experience was in professional publishing in Pennsylvania. And if you know anything about Cleveland, you know it's not the publishing mecca of the United States. That's when I started LaPav Consulting. I didn't have some dream of being an entrepreneur. I like to eat and I needed a roof over my head. So it's like, if you don't start your own, you won't have either. So I started my organization. And by the way, just so you all know, I like to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real all throughout this presentation. All right. And, we're all family here, right? We're all family tonight. So I hope we're all family. I started LaPav Consulting. One of my first contracts was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, let me just say this to you. There are times when people who look like us, we are called in to do what? Save the program, save the project, sometimes save the entire organization. So if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. So I started as the executive director and I wasn't there 2 weeks and I'm being told that I had to write a grant that would save my job and save the organization. I had never seen a grant before. Oh, I'm getting lots of yeses. Oh, lots of yeses. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm being told to write a grant that would pay for my salary after I started. I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants, none. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse. But you know what? I did it. I researched. I wrote that grant. I won the grant. It paid for my salary for the entire year. And I learned a couple of things. One, you can win, not just write. You can win grants with zero experience. You have to know the process. This is what I've learned after having won over $18 million. There is a process to winning. And so, yes, you can win grants with no experience. I know I've created a framework that that is working right for my clients. But also, I learned what you can do with grant money because I hear from you. I've been in this industry for 17 years now. I hear from you. I know you are tired of using your own money to fund your organization, your dream, right? Your passion. You're tired of digging in those pockets and using your own money, right? Or you're tired of wearing all 20 hats, right? Can you get a little bit of help, right? Well, you can use grant money for both. You can use grant money to hire staff, to hire contractors, to hire supplies, to hire help. So we'll talk more about what you can do with grant money. Why not seek money from another organization, from a third party organization that you don't have to pay back? All right. Now, what will we talk about today? We'll talk about what is going on with grants. What is the current grant landscape and why you must know what's going on in order to get this grant money. And then I'm going to show you how to prepare to apply for grants. And then what do you write? How do you write in this application so that you're getting noticed? Really, sometimes in a sea of applications, grants are competitive. And then I'm going to show you how to conduct grant research. And then I have a list of grants for you. Then I have a bonus surprise. Then we're going to do the Q&A. Now, speaking of Q&A, this is your opportunity to ask a grants expert your grant questions. Like, don't be shy. Whatever the question is, don't be shy. I'm here to help you. Drop those questions in either the Q&A box or the webinar chat. One or the other, Q&A box or webinar chat. All right. Now, I said I'm here to help you because there have been some serious hurdles, boulders put in our way, right? And I'm here to try to knock down as many of them as possible because there's a lot of misinformation out here about grants. And I'm here to just cut through all of this craziness and let you know what's going on. All right. But what you have to do, you have to promise me that you are going to share this information that I'm sharing with you. You're going to get a copy of the replay. I'm not charging you for the replay because I need for you to have this information, but I also need for you to share it with other Black organizations so that they know the truth about what's going on. All right. So you hopefully will be encouraged when we're done, but share it and don't keep it to yourself because this is very important. All right. Now, why are we even here? We're here because we as Black organizations need access to money. And guess what? It should always be about loans. Are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? We want grant money because grant money is not paid back. Now, let me say this to all of you. You can do this. You can write grants. It is not what it used to be. You're not writing some 500-page document. All right. That's what I used to do. A lot of these grant applications are 2, 3, 4 pages. So you can do this, but you need to know that there's a process to winning because today we're going to talk about how you place yourself in a position to win grants, not just write a bunch of grants, to win grants. All right. Understand that there's a process. That is what I've learned after 17 years. And it is about more than what you write in the application. All right. So this is what we're going to be learning today. Now, let's start with what is going on with grants. We know that the federal grants have been cut. They've been frozen. Some of them have been rescinded, but this is what I need for you to understand. Federal grants do not equal all grants. Grants come from thousands of resources. Your private foundations, community foundations, family foundations, corporate foundations. And yes, they're giving grants to nonprofits and small businesses, so you are covered. So that is the big good news. That is the good news. Grants are still very much available, non-federal grants. And there is a unique opportunity that exists for you right now that didn't even exist last year. There are so many people who are assuming that there are no grants because the federal grants were cut. They're thinking that means all grants. Guess what? There are a little fewer people applying, little less people, which means a little less competition, which means you are going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. And your local, corporate, family, and community foundations are doing what? And this is the remarkable thing. They are increasing their grant money, increasing their grant funding. Why? Because they're trying to fill in the gaps left by the federal funding cuts. So once again, an opportunity for you to do what? Come in and apply for these grants. Now, here's some other good news that you probably don't know. In addition to the corporate and private and family and community foundations stepping in to cover these gaps, your state and county and local governments are continuing with funding. Why? Because not all government funds come from the federal government. Your state, your county, your local, oftentimes they raise their own money. I just heard about a $30 million grant last month from Ohio and a $20 million grant from the state of Michigan. So please do not overlook your state, county, and local government grants because yes, they do have them. More good news for you. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know it includes minorities, veterans, women, the disabled. And we know that the current administration has cut all DEI funding. And not only that, but they're pressuring foundations to cut DEI funding. But guess what? A lot of these foundations, this is what they do. These are the communities that they give to. They're not just going to stop giving to these communities, but they also don't want to feel the pressure coming from the White House. So you know what they're doing? They're tweaking the language as to how they describe the people that they serve. And that's exactly what you're going to do. And this is how you're going to get around these DEI cuts. But here's some good news first. You have some foundations that they haven't changed the syllable. The Kellogg Foundation, the Ford Foundation, old money, we call old money, right? They're less influenced by what's going on in Washington, D.C. It's so clear. You go to their websites, they proudly discuss how they are funding areas of racial inequity. But your newer foundations like Google, Apple, Delta, Costco, now they are all in with DEI, but they're having to tweak the language so that they don't feel the wrath coming from the White House. But they're still making sure that they're giving money to the communities that they want to serve. We call it quiet DEI in the grant world. It means that you are going to tweak the language instead of specifically laying out ethnicities or gender. You're going to talk about the outcomes and the barriers. Because at the end of the day, your job is to get your grant application through and not have it pulled. So, but you also need to be looking for foundations that's using these buzzwords so that you know, right, what is coded for, right? So this is exactly what you're going to do. So let's say you have a program where you offer youth development opportunities for Black boys. That's who you serve. You serve Black boys. You don't stop serving Black boys, but you need to get that grant through. So you're going to tweak the language. So now you're going to say we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys, or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities. You're tweaking the language. You're taking out the race and you're putting in the condition underserved, underrepresented. We know what this means, right? So this is also what foundations are doing. So you need to be able to look for these words, but you also need to be able to use them. The same for women. Maybe you have a program where you provide employment and career coaching for women. Now you may need to shift that language a bit and say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement, right? We know that's women. Or providing career development services tailored to those who experience what? Unique workforce challenges due to caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, systemic inequities, women. So this is very important for you to get. So let me know in the chat. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm doing. Tweak that language because this is how you're going to get around these DEI cuts. Got it? I'm seeing some yes, 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 yes. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, all right, all right. Make sure, remember what you promised me. You're going to be sharing this information. All right? Don't keep it to yourself. This is important. All right. Let's talk about basics. Just grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back. Now, for those of you with a nonprofit, make sure you have your 501c3. That's your tax exempt charitable organization designation. It's taking about 8 weeks to get it. It is going to be required. Make sure you, by the way, make sure you drop your questions into the chat or the Q&A box, either one. All right. Now, everybody, look at this slide here. This is the amount of grant funding every year. The last accurate figure was from 2023. That's expected to increase, by the way, in 2024 and 2025. $189 billion, billion would it be? This money is only coming from foundations and corporations. Do you see federal funding anywhere on this slide? No. This money is being given out every single day, every single day. And guess what? Black organizations are winning this grant money every single day because this is far removed from what's going on in the White House and federal funding. And this is what they're not telling you, right? A lot of these organizations are thinking, oh my gosh, there's no grant money because of what is going on in the White House. Yet there's $190 billion being circulated and being given out every single day. So what are you going to do to place yourself in a position to get it? And I want you to look at this number. Don't be intimidated. Too often people look at these numbers and they're like, oh, Linda, there's no way I can get any of that. At the end of the day, you just need to focus on what you need. You just need a little bit of $189 billion. So I want you all right now, because this is mental, right now into the chat, I want you to write out, I just need a little bit. I just need a little bit, because you just need what you need of this amount, right? You know what you need. You don't need it all, right? You're not trying to get all $189 billion, I hope. You just need what you need. Nobody's trying to be greedy. That's right, Adrian. That's right, Angela. That's right, Wendy. Iris, do you need it all? Are you going to try to be greedy and get all $189 billion? Tamara Mitchell, or do you just need what you need? So focus on the amount. Focus on the numbers that you need. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, be ready to apply for grants. I highly recommend that you download a software editing tool. I love Grammarly. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. I love it because you download it onto your computer, so it will self-correct as you write. Now, why is this even important? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. Are you guys using Grammarly, Tamara, Dr. Karen, Adrienne? It's free. It's free. Download it. It will make you a better writer. And download this article too, which will also make you a better writer. Improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. Download Grammarly. It's free. Right? You do not want to submit a grant application for your fantastic program and then people can't read it. And it's it is so much easier than you think. I am a professional editor, a professional writer, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. Wouldn't write without it. All right? All right. Now, you need to get grant ready, what we call grant ready. Get your documents in order, your EIN. Nonprofits, you need that 501c3. Now, are you a legitimate organization? Small businesses, do you have your articles? Now, especially nonprofits, you need your board of directors. You need that list. All of you should have letters of support. This is what you need to have ready before you even write one syllable of a grant application. Get those letters of support, whether it's the pastor, community leaders, drop names. Do you know the mayor? Can he or she give you a letter? If you're currently operating, you know you need your financial statements, your balance sheet, and your profit and loss statement. And all of you, whether you are open or not, whether you are even a startup, you need an operating budget. Don't be freaked out by this term, because all it is a document where you are listing what you think your expenses are going to be over the course of a year. And you need to know approximately how much money you need to operate, right? Because that will help you determine how much grant money you need. All right. And you can get a template from the internet. All right. So I'm going to go now to the components of a typical grant application and give you best practices. Because at the end of the day, you need to write this application as if you were telling your story, because that's what it is. Now, the first part is the mission. Yes, you need a mission. Now, it goes beyond defining who you are and what you do and your aims and your goals. Your mission is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money, because you're going to align your mission to its mission. So if you are like focused in education, make sure that foundation has a mission or a vision around education. Align what you're doing. And if you don't have a mission, that's homework 101 for you. All right. Now, this section here is where you are going to separate yourself from the pack when you write this application, because you are to be focused on one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? You need to track your success. Do you have a homeless ministry? How many homeless people are you placing in shelters? And when they get into the shelter, what happens? Are they now able to get their GED? Are they able to get a job? Right? Are they able to maybe be moved into permanent housing? Track your success. All right. Now, maybe you have a restaurant, an LLC. How many people do you serve a year? What is the size of your staff? You give a person a job, you're changing their life. Track your success. Or maybe you have some community programs. Maybe you have a little class for cooking on the side. Maybe you haven't opened yet at all. You still need to discuss impact, but now you're going to discuss the projections. What do you expect to occur when you open? So let's say you have a tutoring program. You want to tutor high school kids. You can write in the application the fact that you expect, once they complete your tutoring, that they are going to increase their reading scores by 5% or whatever it is, right? So whether you are currently open or opening, right, you still have to write about impact. Using real numbers, people, this is how foundations are giving grant money. No longer are they giving money because of feel-good initiatives. I just want to help save the world. How are you doing it? What are your numbers and your stories? No foundation wants to read a cookie cutter application. We'll get into that later when I talk about ChatGPT. Now, when you are writing, write about how you are solving a problem. And there's always a problem. Always. Doesn't matter if you are for-profit or nonprofit. I want to take the example of a bakery. A bakery wants a grant. She wants to move in a downtown location. Now you might be asking, what is the problem? She's making what? Red velvet cake all day, right? Well, maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods, right? Or maybe it's all about economic development because that area that she wants to move in is economically declined, and she wants to help with the revitalization of that neighborhood. So she wants a community development grant. Whatever you do, that thing that you're doing, that you're addressing, that you're solving, is going to help you get grant money because it's going to connect you to the foundation that's giving money in the same area. That's why you have to know how and where foundations fund. For that, you go to their websites. Now, 90% of foundations don't have a website. That's where you have to get creative in getting information about them. All right. Now, really quickly, target population. Who are you serving? You should have one or two predominant target populations, and that is it. Because at the end of the day, you cannot help everybody. I've been a business coach for 16 years. Oftentimes when I ask people, who do you help? Oh, Linda, if they come by, I help them. I can't help it. I just have to help them. It will dilute your success the more you try to pile on because you want to help everybody. That's what referrals are for. So you ask yourself, who are you best helping? Even the example of the restaurant, you still have to niche down. What kind of restaurant is it? Is it soul food? Is it Italian? Is it American? Is it a grill? You're targeting somebody. And the more specific your target, the easier it will be for you to find grant money. Yes. Now, all of you have a decision to make. When you are seeking grant money, you have to apply for either operating money or program project money. Now, we love to get general operating money because when you get an operating grant, you get to decide where to put the money. It could go towards your lease, IT, salaries. Now, only about 32% of foundations give this general operating support, but if you can get it, great. Most grants have to go to a program or a project, which is okay because let's take the restaurant. That's an LLC. You can still have a project as a small business. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service, right? That could be a project. Now, whatever you do, always apply to more than one foundation. I want you to tell me why you think that is important. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Let me know in the chat. What are you thinking? Why do you think it is important that you have to apply always to more than one? Always. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to more than one? All applications will not be approved, Dolores, absolutely. Because you may not qualify. Is it Jemima? Absolutely. Dr. Karen, you're increasing your opportunities, right? There you go, PK. That is it. That's what I'm looking for. Nothing is guaranteed. People, don't get scammed. I have heard horror stories in these 17 years, especially lately, about people being scammed. Oh, it's all over the internet. Guaranteed grant money. You apply here, we make sure you get grant money. Nobody is turned away. Nobody is denied. 99.9% of the time they are scams. There's one being run as we speak, literally. And part of it is like they took information from what I'm saying is like crazy, crazy. And when you click, they're trying to get you to get a high interest loan from them, wrapped around in the story of free grant money. So please be careful, people. There's no such thing as guaranteed grant money 99.9% of the time. All right? All right. So be careful out there. Now, partnerships are everything. Everything. You're going to get this question in the grant application. You need to be prepared to answer it. And I'm not speaking of partnerships where you necessarily have to exchange money. I'm speaking of community partnerships, which are very important. Now, let's say you have an accounting firm. You could give a tax talk every month at your local library. I think libraries are criminally underutilized. They are such great partners. I've done so many tours through libraries. They will promote you. That is what they do. Why is that important for grants? Because foundations are always seeking and looking at who's doing what in their community, right? So in order for you to be working, right, with the library, it means that they're going to raise your level of visibility because they're going to promote your talk. You want this, right? So whether it's the library or the Urban League or universities or 100 Black Men of America or YWCA, get you some community partners. All right. Now, let me make this super clear because this is so important because partners can refer you to other funding resources, right? Let's say a young lady has an ex-offender program. She wants to make sure that when people are released from jail, they become successful members of society. Now, she has to interview the inmates before they are released. Just make sure they qualify for the program. I want you to tell me in the chat who you think she should be meeting with. Who should be her community partners? Now, she has an ex-offender program. She wants to make sure that when those ex-offenders are released into society, they become successful members of the community. Who do you think she should be meeting with? Who do you think she should be meeting with? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. She has the parole board. Absolutely, Dr. Karen. 100 Black Men of America. Sure, why not? Because the ex-offenders may need mentors, right? They may need mentors. Minority business assistants. Why? Because you have organizations that will hire ex-offenders. So workforce development training, right? Maybe there's a facility that will provide workforce development training. You don't want them to be homeless, right? Do they need maybe some transitional housing? Maybe at a halfway house? You don't want them to starve, do you? What about the food bank? Make sure they're getting food, right? The Urban League, yes, absolutely. Speaking of the Urban League, I was at their national convention last night, right here in Cleveland. So this does not have to be difficult. Colleges for trade programs, excellent idea, excellent. Because you want them to have a trade, right? You want them to be working so that they don't commit crimes and go back to jail. Angela, right? The other Angela, correctional facilities, yes, she's got to work with them, right? To interview. So this is what I want you to do. This is your homework. Name five. Name five organizations that you are going to list as partners in that grant application. And no, they don't need to be solidified by the time you submit the application. You can be working on them, and that's okay. So that's your homework. List five organizations that will be potential partners. Now we're on to the money. This is called the grant budget. This is how you are going to display your use of the grant money. And whatever you do, itemize those expenses. This is typically going to be an Excel file. So you can't just write, I need 50 grand to hire an executive director. No, itemize. Is it a contracted person? If so, what is the hourly rate? How many hours a week? How many weeks out of the year? And here's a clue, I always submit a budget narrative. Always, even if they don't ask for one. Why? Because in the budget narrative, you are explaining how you're using the money. And I always want them to know how that money, that grant money that they are giving me, how am I connecting that back to my mission and their mission, right? So that's a little clue for you. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Linda, this doesn't sound bad. This doesn't sound bad, but whew, I don't have time for this. I do not have time to write these grants. Remember what I told you at the beginning, that a lot of these grants are what? 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. And let me tell you, with AI has given you back your time. Use AI correctly. It is a game changer when it comes to grants, but you must use it the right way. I'll talk about AI in a second, but I'm letting you know you will get your time back. And I have created a framework here. If you're going to be pursuing grants, please be in some type of community where you can get help, because you can get frustrated when you don't know where to look or how to look or who to meet. And I have a question for all of you who are thinking like, oh, I don't have time for this. Like, I don't have time to write the grants. And I would like an answer in the chat from all of you. Do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get free money? I don't know. I don't think anybody has time to get free money. Let me see in the chat. Oh, I see yes. I see yes, definitely. I see yes, ma'am. I see absolutely. I see yes, yes, yes. So it's looking like you've got time to get free money. I have time to put myself in the game. That's what I'm talking about, Dr. Karen. You've got to. You're not going to get grant money unless you write grants, right? But there's a way to do this so that you are not wasting time. I can't stress that enough. Time is money, people. Time is money. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to create some relationships. This is the slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. This is the slide. This is as or more important than anything you will ever write in the grant application. You need to meet with the foundation before you submit the application. You need to build this relationship. And this is not hard to do. In the last 17 years, I've probably set up 1,000 of these meetings. I always remember one client, 30-minute Zoom meeting, $30,000. You need to meet with the foundation first. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you grant money. You want to meet with them because in that meeting, they're going to give you insight about that grant that is not on the website. Insight. It is it's an amazing thing to be a part of. But yes, you need to meet with them. You need to meet with them. This is crucial. This is often the deciding factor as to who gets the grant and who doesn't. Now, how do you meet with them? You're going to send them an email. In the email, you are going to align your mission with their mission and your project or program or service with where they are funding. Doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or for-profit, this is what you do. And whatever you do, do not ever, 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 never, 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 ever ask for money in the email. That's almost like getting an automatic rejection letter. No, you ask for the meeting. In the meeting, you ask for the money. All right. Now we're on to the grant research. This is how you find the grant money. The foundation directory online is the leading source. $50 a month to subscribe, or free access at your local library. And by the way, people, Google is fine. Google is okay, but I need for you to use a grant portal where you can focus on grants specifically. Grants.gov, yes, there are still some federal grants available, believe it or not. Are you a church, or maybe you have a faith-based organization? Lilly Foundation is the largest funder of religious organizations. Right now, they have a grant for worship. Right now, as I speak. Grantwatch.com, I love them because they give you the whole grant, the synopsis of the grant, the link to the application, the contact information, the sponsor of the grant. They're $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. And I have since found that there are some libraries that will also carry GrantWatch for free for you. GrantStation, I love. I think they do one of the best jobs of really honing in on you being able to provide what area that you are serving in. And then UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, they are Black owned. Please sign up for their free newsletter. Tell them Linda Peavy sent you. They are great. And they drop information on probably 2, 3, 4 grants every single week. All right. Now let me show you really quickly how to do this grant research. This is GrantStation, $200 for the whole year. Look to my right where it says areas of interest. For every block you see, there's probably 10 to 15 drop-down blocks. Then you decide your target population, the types of support. Are you a small business or nonprofit? Plug in your numbers. You get a list of grants and the funder that's providing the type of grant. Now, let me say something to all of you about location, because I think many of you leave money on the table because you didn't start local. Like, don't be seduced by these federal grants. Start local. It's easier to get local grant money. Meet with your local community foundation. Meet with your local corporations that are providing grant money. And then don't disregard the national ones. There are more national grants. And just because the foundation is headquartered in Texas doesn't mean that they're not giving money to you and you're in Tennessee. So do both, local and national. This is GrantStation. You hit the button, you get a list of grants. All right. Now, I'm not going through all of these grants for you. I have this list here so that you understand that there is grant money still right now as I speak geared towards Black-owned organizations. Again, some of the language may be tweaked a little. Annuity Freedom, that's a financial literacy grant. You have a Black-led nonprofit, go to this website, support Black charities. They have a list of grant opportunities for you. Hello Alice is geared towards small business owners that are women. They have, I think, 3 grants right now. Operation Hope, John Hope Bryant, he wants to help build 1 million Black businesses. He's up to over 400,000. Join Operation Hope. Do you have a brick and mortar? You have a physical location? There's a wish.com grant. LISC, they fly under the radar screen. They are laser focused on underserved communities. They've already given out $1 billion since 1979. Amazing. Amber Grants for Women, they give away $30,000 every month. Shea Moisture, every year they provide a grant that is geared towards underserved communities that open hair salons. Now, initially they were saying Black hair care salons, but now they're just saying hair care salons. But you have to read between the lines sometimes, right? I won't go through them all. Let's get to Amarillo. Oh, let me just talk about the Ford Foundation, because if you are creating a film about the Black experience, they have a grant for you. Amarillo, they give away grants to super small organizations because some of you might be thinking, oh, Linda, this is not for me. I'm just too small. You can be a solopreneur and get grants. You can have an all-volunteer nonprofit. You don't need some huge organizational chart. Maybe you don't pay staff. Maybe you don't even pay yourself. You can still get grant funding. And then for you startups, busy.com and Sky's the Limit. They both have startup grants. And by the way, Amber Grants for Women, they also have a startup grant. Their startup grant is unique. $10,000 every single month is what's offered. And they will give you funding from the idea stage. See, a lot of startup grants, you have to have already started. Years 0 through 5 are usually considered startups. They will give you money based on your idea. You will not have need to have earned one penny yet. All right. Now, really quickly, I want all of you place into the chat. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money. Banks and money. Banks and money. Tell me what you think about loans. What else? Loans, take and give money, mortgages, debt. Do you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money in the United States? Banks. Banks. And it doesn't have to be your bank. It can be a bank with just maybe a good footprint in your community. Maybe they have a regional office or a headquarters office. Maybe it's a small family-owned bank. I'm going to give you 4 leads right now. Look into the chat for the links. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, Truist. They're all providing significant grant money. I was literally just talking about this last night. I was, again, at the Urban League. Their national conference is in Cleveland right now, and this is where I am, speaking to a gentleman about the fact that these banks are providing grant money to organizations, and most people don't even know it, but now you do. All right. Now, let me talk about artificial intelligence really quickly. Yes, ChatGPT is phenomenal. Use it, but use it as a tool. It's never going to be a replacement for grant writing. Like, there is no replacement, because you have to be careful with AI. You have to feed AI information that you have written about your organization. So there's no substitute for you needing to write about your mission, your impact statement, your statement of need, right? Your target population. And then you feed it into AI and let it perfect your writing. Let it extend your writing. Let it expound upon your writing. But you've got to feed it in the form of what we call prompts. All right. So there's no substitute. There's no magic button that you push and, oh, there's a magical, perfect grant application. No. But you have to understand how to at least write about the basics. And that's where my bonus surprise comes in, because I have written a grant writing course that will help you do just that. And your secret weapon is going to be me, because I'm going to serve as your grant coach, because I'm going to talk to you about how you not just write, how you win grants. This is how I won $18 million. I literally laid it out in a course for you to follow. So the course helps you write every part of the grant application. You will do the research. It will show you how to do the research. But here's where the coaching comes in. Let's say you meet with the foundation. Do you know what to say? Do you know what you never leave that meeting without knowing? We have a private Facebook group. You come into the group, you ask us questions, and we will help you so that you're not frustrated. You know where to move, how to move, who to meet, where to search for funding for your organization. Now, the grant course will teach you how to create your budget, but do you know how much money it asks for? And should it be program project or operating money? Come to the Facebook group. We will help you. All right. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. There's a video for visual learners. You can download everything. In my 17 years, I've been hired to build grant applications, including writing the question on behalf of the foundation. So I've utilized those questions in this course. So this is as if you are completing an in-depth grant application. So at the end, you have a grant template. This is what makes it easier and faster. You have a grant template that you can use over and over and over again. And literally the answers to my questions in this course, you can use them in ChatGPT to expound upon them or to extend them if you need to. And yes, I do give you real examples. You need to know what a winning grant looks like. So you have winning grant examples all throughout the course. And I even give you a list of over 600 organizations providing grants. I talked about the private Facebook group. That is your community. That is your source for help. Please, I recommend not trying to do this alone. This is where people get frustrated and they give up. The organizations that are winning, six figures, five-figure grants, right? In this community asking for help. We're here to help you. And you want to know where there are grants? We drop grants all the time in the Facebook group. And then you get an hour of group coaching live with me, right? We just had one a couple of days ago. I say an hour is really never an hour because I stay until all of the questions have been answered. It's usually over 2 hours because I am here to help you. And that is with me, right? So this course gives you access to me. All right. And I know colleagues that charge a lot more for their course and you get zero access to them. I am here to help you. Now, these numbers here, I want you to look at them. You're not even going to be paying a fraction of them because I said at the beginning, I'm not going to be another hurdle for you to get over just because you need help, right? So the 12 modules and the 35 lessons, I've had the course audited 3 times. $3,549. The videos are worth $600, $500 for the funding list. You've got planners and grant trackers. This is what you want to see. And all the courses a $5,000 course per audits, right? But it's easy to get through because you get the help you need. So normally it's $997. Oh, I know what's been happening this year. So it's on special now for $497. I'm trying to get you to the point where you can get the help that you need, because grants are being won every day by Black organizations, which you will see in a moment. But you hopped on the webinar. I know you could have been somewhere else tonight at 7 o'clock. Take $200 off. Take $200 off of the $497. One payment, $297, one and done. I try to keep this course low. Please don't be confused. It's a $5,000 course. I have other services that are far more expensive. This course I keep low because I know it is going to help you win grant money as it is doing. It is a proven course. So it's $297 for everything. Make sure you use your code JULY17. And then if you want a 2-month payment plan, it's $175 a month. Use a separate code JULY17, but put the little T on the end of it. That stands for 2 months. And you read right at the bottom, the course never expires. It doesn't. You can come back to it again and again and again because you'll need help. You'll need help ongoing, right? Because remember, I said this is a marathon. This is not one and done. So yes, you get the course, Facebook group, coaching, write everything off. It's totally tax deductible. And then you have a certificate of completion. And for those of you who love templates, we have templates. Remember I talked to you about meeting with the foundation via email? I have an email template. Literally, it's just plug and play and you send it to the foundation. I talked to you about creating partnerships. I have a partnership email that you're sending to the partners. I have a grant writing template. I have financial documents that are templates. We try to make it easy. Everything's included for the $297. All right. Now, for those of you who want something a little more intense, I have a boot camp. I teach you 2 months worth of grant work in 2 days. At the end of the second day, you have a completed grant application that you're going to submit. You have a grant template that you're going to use. I'm teaching you how to use AI. You are going to leave with a list of local and national grants. You leave with an implementation plan. It's very intense. It's 7 hours a day for 2 days. Keisha took it a couple of months ago, had never written a grant before. Never. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant. So it was $1,997. That's for the 2 days or 2 monthly payments of $1,249. If you're interested in the boot camp, just send me an email. We'll set up the date because that's a private session. All right. You get 14 hours with me. All right. Now, these people here, they just bought the course. They just paid less than $300. Look at the ROI. Look at the return on investment. Last month, Nicola won $250,000. She was not a grant writer. None of these people are professional grant writers, but they take my course and they follow what I'm asking them to do because I've done it many times to great success. She didn't even ask for $250,000. She asked for $50,000, but her grant application was tight. And they said, oh my gosh, can we counteroffer so that you can create this program and maybe other locations? Here's $250,000 for you to do it. And she has a for-profit senior care agency. For those of you who don't think small businesses can get grants, she's a for-profit senior care agency. Whitney has a doula organization, $200,000. She did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She started local. She got $40,000 from her utility company. And then she got $50,000 from a national organization. Kanisha, $100,000. Kimberly, last month, $84,000. Cherie, $11,000. Right? A massage company, $20,000. A massage company. Christina was scared. Christina said, I would not have even had the confidence to follow through. But she did it. And this is a message for all of you. Your success is on the other side of your fear. I'm going to say that again. Your success is on the other side of your fear. Now, you know, I have some bonuses for you. I talked about AI and getting your time back. I have written an AI grant guide, 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. It will give you back your time. I even give you 100 prompts to make it even easier. You get it for free. You get it for free. And one more, I'm trying to get you this grant money. The U.S. Black Chambers, that's the lead organization for the local Chamber of Commerce's for Black organizations. They provide a Buy Black list. It's annual. It's $200. I'm giving you the latest version. If you buy the course today, that's the May version, so that you get off to a phenomenal start. All right? It's Q&A time, people. It's Q&A time. It is Q&A time. But let me quickly show you how, for those of you who are asking, how to buy the course. All right. I need to, then we're going to get to the Q&A. Let me show you how you get through here to buy the course. There we go. I'm going to share my screen one more time. This is really quickly. All right. There we go. $297, one payment. Hit the $497. I'm doing this live. Hit $497. You have a coupon. You have a coupon. Enter your coupon, JULY17. It's taking off $200. Most people don't even have a coupon. You have a big coupon because you came on tonight. You're paying $297. You see this little block here? That is a private VIP one-on-one session with me. Oh, I'm going to do a deep dive into your organization. Because before we talk about grants, I'm going to examine your mission, vision, infrastructure, your programming, and then you even leave with a little mini list of grants. So I get you together. You leave with perfect clarity. It's normally $497. The only time you'll see it reduced to $247 is if you buy it with the course. So you can add it on if you want to. If you don't want it, you don't have to add it on. You put in an email address, right? Let's just put in an email. And then this is important. Now we take credit cards, we take PayPal. Now, we also offer buy now, pay later. You see how I kept clicking pay another way? If you want the buy now, pay later, keep hitting click another way or pay another way. And we offer Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay. Think about this. It's 4 months, same as cash. That's $75 a month for you finally being able to be in a community where you can get help getting grant money, right? You saw the testimonials. So yes, if you just want to pay via a credit card, you can, or a bank statement, or we have PayPal and what is it, Google Pay and Afterpay. Now, I said before that we have a little payment plan, right? It's 2 times $175. Hit 2 times $275. You have a coupon and put it JULY17 with the little T. There you go, $175 a month for 2 months. You're done. This is not a program where you're paying every single month, right? You're done. You're done. And I just don't know of any other program that's anywhere like this for this small of amount of money. But that's on me, right? I intentionally keep it small so that more people can afford it. I have other services that are significantly higher. All right. All right. Now, before we do the Q&A, I need you to do something for you. Don't go anywhere before you do this. Do this for you. I believe in manifestation. It's July. Grant money is available, billions of dollars, as you saw. I want you to write this into the chat, all of you, before you leave here. I want you to write, I am ready to get grant money. Like it's time is out for the procrastination. We can't afford it anymore. We can't afford to procrastinate. This money is available. And as you can see, all those organizations that I showed you, black organizations getting grant money right now. I am ready to get grant money. Get this out of your spirit. Release this. I believe in manifestation. Get this out, people. Dr. Karen, Mitzi, Eileen, Angela, Stacy, get this out of you. Chris, Jemima, get this out. Adrian, Mitchell. I am ready to get grant money. Like, place yourself in a position to move your organization forward. And I offer you the opportunity to just be in a safe space in a community that is going to be helpful to you, because there's so much misinformation out here. Like, people are waiting on you and your talents. Like, how long have you been wanting to get grant money to pay for your nonprofit, to help with your small business? We can help you do that. Danielle, Shemaya, yes, Angela, like, write this down. All right. All right. Q&A time. I'm going to start in the Q&A box. I've already answered the question, but great question. With the federal government doing all these cuts, how are grants being funded? Answer her question, people. Let me see if you were paying attention. Answer her question, people, in the webinar chat. She wants to know, with the federal government doing all these cuts, how are grants being funded? How are grants being funded, people, in the chat? There you go, Chris. From outside sources, local and national. This is beautiful. Foundations, private companies. Yes, absolutely. You got it. Like, you got it. This is what is happening. All right. Corporations, yes. To the tune of what? $189 billion, people. Actually, that number will have increased right now for 2025 and 2024. Next question. Can I get grants for my real estate property management business to assist those with housing? Housing assistance is one of the major grant categories. And let me tell you who loves to give grants in the area of housing assistance. Banks. Banks. Now, one of my clients was Habitat for Humanity, and I had to do research for them. So I had to like dig deep into the assistant housing industry, and it is amazing the amount of grant money available. So, but for all of you, this is important. As long as you are providing a legal service, you can get grants. A legal service. So for those of you who are going to ask me, is there a grant for me? I'm going to say yes. You have to do the research and find out where the money is. And that's what the course is for. But yes, absolutely. What if the funder has a lot of grant money to give? However, you have researched the organization and find that they are not aligned with your personal beliefs based on some things they have done or stated, but it's easy money to get. Do you remain transactional or pay attention to your heart and pass this opportunity up? There's no way I can answer that question for you, right? Because you have to live with your answer, not me. All right. You've got to live with your answer, not me. You've got only you can make that decision. All right. But I'm going to tell you this, that I learned a long time ago, all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Okay. Any grants for transportation services you know about? Absolutely. There are grants for transportation services. Do the research and find out where they are. Let me use that as an example. This is for all of you to hear. You need to apply for grants in multiple categories, not just for transportation, but multiple categories. Let me show you how this is done, Chris. So you're looking for grants for transportation services. First of all, you're a person of color. Look for grants that are geared towards Black-owned organizations, regardless of what you're doing, right? That's number one. Number two, you're looking for transportation services. I'm assuming you're a small business. So look for grants geared towards small businesses. That's the second category that you're going to be researching. Number three, look for grants that are geared towards transportation. That's number three. Number four, all of you should be looking to your industry for grants. So you're in transportation. Do you know that every single major airline has a foundation? Look to them for grants. That's the same industry. UPS is transportation. They have a grant. FedEx is transportation. They have a grant. Look to your industry. That's number four. I've already got four categories for you. Number five, who are you transporting? Are you transporting the elderly? If you are taking care of the elderly, guess what? Now you're going to be looking for grants that are geared towards organizations that serve the elderly. You just happen to be serving them in the area of transportation, but you're still serving them. That's number five. Right? So this goes to for all of you. You have multiple categories where you should be seeking grant money. This is why it is so important. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. Be in a community of people who can help you, right? If you're going to be seeking grants, it's so easy to get discouraged when you don't know the answers to your questions. All right. That's what I was saying. Tamara says transportation is a wide range. That's why I'm saying, who are you transporting? You have to be specific. The more, remember I said at the beginning, niche down. The more specific you are, the more you can niche down, the easier you will find grant money. Who are you serving with your transportation? Is it a bus? Is it personal car? Do you have an Uber? What is it? All right. All right. Everybody will get the replay. Absolutely. There's a replay. You'll get it for free. All right. All right. All right. Da, 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 da. All right. I'm going to go to the top. I see some really good questions, so just give me a moment to get through them all. I'm going at the top and I'm scrolling down. Yes, it is tax deductible. It is, you write it off. If you are a nonprofit, you don't pay taxes, but you write it as a business expense. I'm talking about the course now. Or if you are a for-profit, you write it off. It's a business or an educational expense. So yes, you absolutely can write it off. And so the 2 monthly payment is $175 a month, or one payment. Yes, you're one and done at $297. That's it. The chat, if you look in the chat, you'll see the link to the course for those of you who are wanting to buy the course. And if you buy the course, you will get admission into the Facebook group. I'm going to do something special for you because you need help. So when you get into the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you for a synopsis of your organization. I'm going to say, give me 3 or 4 sentences about your organization. When you do that, I'm going to give you some links specifically that will help you find grants because I want you to get off to a good start. All right, the course is digital. You start immediately. You don't wait for me, but you come to the Facebook group for help. You come on the group coaching calls. And by the way, in the Facebook group was it Monday or Tuesday? I think it was Monday I had my coaching call. Was Monday's coaching call. So you always get access to the prior coaching calls. And guess what? In the coaching call, I do live grant searches. So there were people in the live group coaching call that said, Linda, can you help me search for a grant for my area? And I search for grants for them. That's part of the live coaching that you get. All right. All for what? $297. I believe it is $297. All right, let's see. I'm going to go slowly because I did see quite a few questions in here. So someone is waiting on their determination letter from the IRS. That's the 501c3 letter. Yes, wait before you submit your applications because you will need to clip that to your application. It's not like you are going to get it and there's a lot of information you'll be taking from it. You just need to clip it to your application, but do the research now. Do not wait until you get the 501c3 to start doing the research. You could be researching and writing now. And then by the time you get it, you just clip it to the application. So do not wait until you get the 501c3 before you start doing the research. All right. You can work with a fiscal agent until you obtain your IRS determination letter. So let me talk to you about that. So the fiscal agent is an organization that will apply for grants on your behalf. But let me just share a couple of things with you that you need to know. One, always get your own 501c3. If you're going to work with a fiscal agent, make sure it's somebody that you trust, because the money goes to them if you get the grant. And then they have to give the money to you because they're the ones with the 501c3. So make sure it's a fiscal agent that you trust, because they're getting the money on your behalf if you win. And I can tell you that there are many, 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 I would probably say most foundations that do not want to work with a fiscal agent. They will make it clear in their requirements that you need to have your 501c3, because at the end of the day, they're giving money to you for your program. They don't necessarily want to give their money to a third party, even though they know it's probably going to end up going to you. So get your 501c3. Right? It's only taking about 8 weeks. And in the interim, do your research. Get your applications lined up. If you have a fiscal agent, fine, use them, but just make sure you read the funding requirements of every grant, because not every foundation deals with fiscal agents. All right? So just be careful. All right, let's see. Other questions. Not all foundations are available for these meetings. That is true. You're not going to get a meeting with every single foundation. Some foundations don't want to meet with you, and that's okay. Follow their guidelines. Submit a strong application. But if there's any way at all that you can meet with that foundation, and I can tell you that many, 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 many of them do, this is what they do. They're okay. Especially the local community foundations meet with people. That's part of what they do. They're serving the community. They want to meet with you. While I was doing the research for someone on the group coaching call, we got to one local community foundation, and it was clear. It was like plastered on the homepage. We want to meet with you to learn about your organization. All right. All right. Let's see. Other questions. Is not having an EIN a bar from getting a grant for a church? You need an EIN. Yes, you will need an employer identification number. So here's what a lot of churches do. A lot of churches will, because first of all, a church is a nonprofit, right? But if you're going to be seeking grants, start a foundation from the church so that you have a 501c3, because even as a church, you still need a 501c3. You still need it because it is required by the foundation that's giving you funding. So you have to adhere to their rules and regulations. You still need a 501c3. So a lot of churches will create that nonprofit foundation so that they get their 501c3. All right. So you absolutely will need an EIN. All right. Let's see. How do I structure a group home to get funding? How do I structure a group home to get funding? Like, I can't tell you how to structure a group home to get funding. You have to determine, this is your baby, right? Who are you trying to serve? Why are you starting a group home? Who are you serving? I never tell people whether or not they should open up a for-profit or a nonprofit. That is your decision, because that is a legal entity. For-profits are very different than nonprofits. The legal status is different. The government requirements are different, right? So you have to determine whether it's going to be a for-profit or a nonprofit. The only thing I can tell you is that, of course, there are more grants for nonprofits because they've received grants for much longer, right? But you have to ask yourself, who are you serving? And for those of you who want to open up a group home, I advise you, because I get this question a lot, which is great. I think it's great that people want to open up group homes, but start slow. Please don't expect to get $1 million grant to build a group home from the ground up. That's just not how funding works. Start slow. Find a home that maybe you can lease out. Maybe it's a duplex, so you can lease out one side and bring in a few people and make it successful first. Get your impact. Help those individuals. And the more you help them, the more you can ask for bigger and bigger grants, right? But start slow. Start with one side of a house if you have to, and make it successful before you start asking for like multiple six-figure grants to build something. Because if you've never worked with the $1 million grant, or if you've never really worked with a $10,000 grant, it's probably highly unlikely that you're going to get a $1 million grant. So start slow. Find out what facilities might be available, what homes might be available in your area that you can lease out. And so when you're writing the grant application, maybe do some research and get some potential locations. You never know. There may be landlords, there may be property owners that are willing to give you the space for free, right? All right, let's see. Even for construction of low income, are you talking about the housing assistance? Yes, that's one of the main categories, is low income housing. That's one of the main categories. Can I use startup grant money for electronics and training for me and my staff? Grant money can absolutely be used for electronics and training. There are grants for transportation services. I need grants right now for my dance business. So that's arts and culture. So you know, when you are seeking grants, seek art and culture grants. And yes, there are grants in the area of art and culture. There are grants for, if that's what you're doing dance, but you need to ask yourself what's making your dance studio different. What's making your dance studio different? Is it for seniors? Is it for kids? Is it for the disabled? What's making it different? And this question is for all of you, by the way. What is making your organization different? Because that's what the foundation is going to want to know, right? But yes, also, excuse me, in the area of arts and culture. So the National Endowment of the Arts is a major organization, federal government, right? That typically was providing grant money in the arts to state level organizations. So some of that grant money is still there. So if I were you, wherever state you're in, look for a state organization that is in the area of arts and culture. So when you utilize these grant search portals like Grant Watch and Grant Station and the Foundation Directory Online, you're going to put in your information. You're going to put in wherever you're located, arts and culture, who your target population is. And you're going to push that button. You're going to indicate whether you are a nonprofit or a small business, and you will get a list of grants, right? All right. Shamia says, look for grants geared towards Black-owned organizations, small businesses. Look towards your industry for grants. Absolutely. She summarized it. Absolutely. Because you should be looking for multiple grants from multiple categories. All right. So your group home is for youth development. This is another opportunity for you to apply for grants from a number of different categories. So because you are serving youth, remember I said you've got to focus on your target population. Because your group home is for youth, that's another category where you should be seeking. You should be seeking grants for organizations that provide money for those who serve youth. And let's say that the youth have mental health and wellness issues, right? Or challenges. That's another category. Now you can search for grants that are geared towards organizations that serve a population that have mental health and wellness issues or challenges. Your category just happens to be youth, and that's okay, but that's just one other category you're going to look in for grants. All right. That's why, again, it is important to be in a community where you can get this information, right? All right. I'm having trouble getting grant funding for my mobile unit, providing health screenings for blood pressure, glucose, BMI, and oxygen. It's a 501c3. Wow. Nonprofit serving low income, underserved people. I would love to know where you have searched and how you are searching. You have an advantage being a nonprofit with a mobile health unit. Talk about the opportunity for partnering. Oh my goodness. You should be knee deep in looking for partners who will allow you to come on their facility and do these health screenings, even in these low income communities, right? So, companies with facilities, right, that are in low income communities, are you reaching them? Think about the major organizations that have locations in low income facilities. What are they? Grocery stores, banks, right? Sometimes sometimes fitness organizations. Like those are just three community partners. But you should be absolutely going to your local community foundation. You have a nonprofit. You're in the area of health and wellness. You have a mobile unit, right? You should be connecting with every senior facility in your area, right? This really should not be a heavy lift for you, Dolores. It really shouldn't be. But come into the group and I would be happy to help you further. All right, let's see. Can I use startup grant money for laptop software? Yes. I have no idea what percentage of my participants have been awarded grants. I have no idea. I can tell you about the ones who have been awarded grants. Keep in mind, there's 3,000 students in my academy. I hear from the ones who are winning grants, right? But I can't possibly there. Keep in mind, there are organizations that win grant money. They don't want to be known. They want to stay anonymous. They don't necessarily want people to know that they received grant funding. I have one client, he won a $2 million grant. He didn't want to touch the money until we met because he wanted to make sure he was compliant. Not all organizations want people to know that they've received grant money. So unfortunately, there are organizations within this course that have won grant money, and I will never know about it, unfortunately. But that's their decision, right? That's their decision. All right, let's see. So again, it's not about whether or not there's a grant for you. There's grant money available. Research and find out where to find them. Chris, yes, you can. Send me an email. Melissa, if you could drop my email address, hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. Send me an email, Chris. Wellness, health center, physical, mental health, substance abuse, absolutely. A yes to them all. I currently specialize as an educational consultant in the area of bullying. So Christina is an educational consultant, the one who got the $10,000 grant and the year worth of mentoring. She's also an educational consultant in the area of bullying prevention and safer schools in K through 12. I want to expand my business to support STEM students who are overage and undercredited that require program and financial support. Are there multiple grants in these areas? Yes. My program will go into court for those teens who may be getting into trouble with the law or on their way into being involved with the law. So that's youth development, life skills, STEM, mentors, counselors, social work. You've got to focus. You can't do all of that. You've got to focus. Focus on what it is you want to provide to these kids. You cannot provide everything. So you're not going to be able to teach them life skills and STEM and mentorship and counseling. And so what you can do, focus on the one key skill that you want to provide with those kids and then refer them to everybody else. This is why the community partnerships exist. Connect with counseling organizations, with social workers, with educational facilities that offer STEM, with mentors, right? So that you can refer these kids to those organizations. But you've got to be able to focus on what it is that you want to provide. And if you want to help keep them out of trouble, like what does your program look like? When is it? Is it after school? Are these after school different sessions that are happening. Are you providing mentors for these kids, right? Because you have to be able to focus, but keep in mind, let's say you just want to focus on two, right? Youth development, teaching them life skills, and then giving them mentors. You can look for grants in each individual area. And this is for all of you. You can get multiple grants. So, Iris, you can look for a grant that's geared towards youth development services it's called at-risk youth. So that's your category, at-risk youth. That's what you want to focus on, right? So look for grants that are geared towards youth development for at-risk youth. Let's say you want to provide some mentors. Now you want to look for programs that provide money for those who connect mentors with youth. All right. Houston area foundations, you need to Google local community foundation, because I just did this Monday for Houston, local community foundation in Houston, and it will come up. And there's a foundation that you need to meet with that services the Houston area. All right. They've been expelled from the school district, a teacher on staff expelled. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Let me just make sure I've answered them all in the Q&A and then on the webinar chat. So you've got 3 days to get the additional discount, to get the help that you need, right? To be able to be in a community where you're getting your questions answered. And so from now until Sunday, you can get the course, which includes my help in the Facebook group, the group coaching calls for less than $300, right? And so just whatever you do, keep moving forward. That's what I would say to all of you. Keep moving forward. Don't be discouraged by the news. Don't be discouraged by what you're saying. You all clearly are very passionate about what you do, which is phenomenal. Keep moving forward, but get yourself some help. Get help. Because what I don't want you to do is be frustrated and stop. Again, I have colleagues that charge $2,000 for their programs and you don't even get what I give you. I keep this program low because I'm trying to help you. But yes, you are going to have to invest just a little in yourself and in your dream and in your programs, right? So thank you so much for hopping on. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals. And you've got 3 days. Keep in mind, you get those bonuses. You get the Bible at Grant list and you get the AI guide that will really, really be such a phenomenal solution. A lot of the questions that you guys are asking in the chat, you can put into Chat GPT and they'll give you the answers. I teach you how to do that in the little guide, right? So keep moving forward. I want you to have a safe and a blessed weekend. Keep moving forward. There are organizations that need you. And remember what I said, share this information. You will get a link in your email to the replay. You will get the code for the next 3 days so that you're not paying $497 for the course. You're only paying $297. You'll get that code over the course of the next 3 days. All right. So thank you so much. Again, I appreciate you hopping on. I know you could have been elsewhere. Thank you so much. Whatever you do, keep moving forward. There are people waiting on your skills and your talents. And remember what I said earlier, your success is on the other side of your fear. You can do this and you'll have help doing it. Finally. All right. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a safe evening and a safe weekend. All right. Bye-bye.